Hi everyone, my name is Bukky Smart. I'm the founder of Save, Spend, Invest, where I talk about how to help young millennials save better, spend smarter, and invest wiser. I've got a couple of questions today to basically inform people about the need and the reason why financial independence is so important for the everyday woman. So the first question, what is financial independence? So when I first started off Save, Spend, Invest, my ideal scenario was that there's a young lady or a young guy who has just finished university and started working, and they're making all this money now, and they've gone from, say, maybe getting an income of about £400 to now getting close to £2,000, and they're so overwhelmed with this money, and for the first couple of months all they do is spend the money. They don't know anything else to do with the money, and then they come across Save, Spend, Invest, and they're like, okay, this is interesting. I do want my money to work for me. How do I start to do that? So the basic things I usually say is, for one, learn how to manage your spending habits, because you could be making more money, but if you're making £2,000 and your expenses are £2,000 as well, then there's no profit. So it's not just to increase your earning capacity, but also to manage, what you have right now. So first of all, I'd say manage your spending habits. Know the kind of person you are. Watch your triggers. Don't go to places with friends where basically you're prone to just spend a lot of money all the time, and be conscious of the surroundings that make you spend. The second thing I'd say is start to build your savings habit. Start to put away money aside. Put it in a separate bank account. Put it in an account that you don't actually physically see, or you don't have easy access to it. So for example, putting away money in an account where you need to go to the bank to actually access your funds. And then the last thing is investing. A lot of women get pretty scared when it comes to taking risk, but I think investing doesn't have to be as risky. If you know your risk profile, actually you can either be cautious and not want to take a lot of risk, which is fine. You can put your money into things like mutual funds and index funds that are low risk. You could be a balanced investor, or you could be more risk geared, so you're not really too fussed about how much risk, as long as you're being rewarded for it. So there's a phrase in finance which is high risk and high reward. So it's just knowing the kind of person that you are, knowing your risk profile, and then tailoring that towards investing and your investing goals, and really starting to do that sooner rather than earlier. Well, for me, financial independence is where you don't have to work anymore, making enough money on the side, as it were, to cover your whole lifestyle, to take care of your bills and expenses, and to in surplus of that. So it's having enough assets that's generating you enough cash flow to be able to live life without having to actively be on it or go to work to get that money. How do you become financially independent? Well, Rome was not built in a day, and the journey of 1,000 miles does start with one step. So to become financially independent, you have to do little things in increments to get to the bigger goal or the bigger purpose. So starting with saving, for example, you have to start to save the little that you have now, invest any surplus amount that you can, and that is the way that you begin to generate passive income and extra cash flow to basically make you comfortable to the point where you don't actually require a job to pay your salary anymore, because your assets are actually producing cash flow for you. How important is it for a woman to be financially independent versus the need to rely on a man? Well, in today's world, women are becoming more and more learned. Women are taking up responsibilities in the household, not just in terms of working, but really learning for themselves the need to be financially independent, whether that be it necessary through either the death of a loved one or a husband or a spouse, to just learning that they need to know things for themselves, and they need to be able to make their own money, and they need to know more so they can do more and therefore become one. So I think it's very important for each woman to know how to make money for themselves, know how to spend that money wisely, invest that money wisely, and to put away money for their future and for their families and for their kids as well. Do you need to remain financially independent if you have a capable husband? I think being financially independent, or even just being financially literate, is a life skill that everyone should have, or it's a life goal that everyone should work towards. Regardless of if you have a husband or not, regardless of if you have a partner or not, you should always aim to do more for yourself. You should always aim to, maximize your life and maximize your future. And for me, one of the ways to do that is being financially secure and reaching financial independence, whereby I don't actually need to rely on a husband or a spouse. It will be great if both of us were financially independent. Therefore, there's no sole dependence on one person providing something. You can do what you want with your own money. That is not to say that the husband doesn't still do his perform his responsibilities and provide for the household, but it means that a woman can be comfortable should the husband not be there at any point in time. She's able and available to take over and to actually make financial decisions for her family. How do you not miss out on the fun stuff while also aspiring towards that major goal that requires a huge financial investment? With everything in life, it's all about balance. So, reaching your financial goals doesn't mean that you're going to have to save every nickel and penny. Part of being financially free is really just time freedom to do the things that you want to do, the things that make you happy. So would you have to sacrifice? Absolutely. You might have to sacrifice now, but you're going to have a long-term gain. And this is so important in people understanding that it's not just about living your best life for today, but you also have to plan about living your best life tomorrow. And when your future comes in the next 5 to 10 years, what do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? If you see yourself being financially free, then you're going to have to make tough decisions, as you might not be able to go on that holiday today so that you can go on all the holidays you want tomorrow. You might not be able to buy that Chanel bag today so that you can buy a lot more tomorrow. It's literally about just balancing it all out. But that said, I'm still a big believer in just being able to allocate your money in such a way that you're not missing out. So I wouldn't say that because you're saving for something big, you're not able to still have fun with your friends. It's just about opportunity cost. The fact that you can afford anything, but you actually cannot afford everything, because everything is a trade-off against something else. So if you're going to choose to travel today, you might not be able to maybe invest some money somewhere else. So really just taking calculated risk. Still travel, still have fun with your friends, but make sure that you're not doing that at the expense of your financial goals. So for example, me last year, I knew that I was working towards something, and so I apportioned my money. I said, okay, if I put £50 towards savings, can I put £20 towards traveling? Can I put £10 towards going out with friends and just having fun? And just really classifying my money so that I wasn't actually missing out. So people saw me traveling and they were wondering, how was I able to do that? But it's literally just about finding the good balance between how much you're spending versus how much you're saving and investing. But always, for me, what takes priority is always saving and investing first before then spending and still living my best life. Any proper financial planning techniques or advice? Like I said earlier, the key thing is to start where you are. Part of starting also includes you building your financial literacy. So not just saying, oh, I have a load of money, where do I put it? But really understanding what you're getting into and understanding why this is important. A lot of people miss out the big reason behind financial independence because we don't see why it is important. And it is important that you're financially independent so that you don't have to rely on a job. You don't have to rely on a man. You don't have to rely on anything else but yourself and your earning capacity and the assets as well that you've put away to make more money for you. So for me, just getting the basic things right, things like saving, and things like investing where you are now are just so important. And just reading about ways to grow my money, reading about ways to save better, and just surrounding yourself with people that also are like-minded as you. There's no point trying to hang out with people that are going to bring you down and tell you that your goals are too big, or how can you buy a house at 25 and things like that. You really need to surround yourself with people who push you towards those big financial goals. That is it. Thank you so much for listening and for watching. I hope that this was useful. If you do want to find me, you can check out my blog. It's savespendinvest.co.uk, and there are lots of information that we share about saving better, spending wiser, and investing your money. So if that's something that you're interested in, then do pop along and do say hi. Bye.